She's an icon, she's a legend, and she is the moment.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hello and welcome. My name is Casey and I hope you'll come and join the party by subscribing down below, turn your post notifications and all those good things. But in today's video, I'm going to be doing my wrap up, my reading wrap up. But I decided not to do it monthly because I just thought that's a little bit long and I don't read like a ton. Well, I read a lot, but like I don't read a ton. I just didn't want to be doing it every month. So I thought, let's split it and do 4 over the year, so 3 months for one. So now we've just gone 4 months into the year. We're in April. It's gone very quickly. I was gonna say so quickly, but it's gone very quickly. So I'm gonna give you a little wrap up from January, February and March, but instead of just doing like I read this, I read this, I read this, some of them just were not really worth it and I didn't need to go too much into them. So I'm gonna just split it up into little like my favorite series, a book that I would recommend to all, you know. So let me just stop talking and let's get into the video. So I've actually not done too bad I don't know why my top is literally sitting like this. Like I'm literally wearing just like a normal top. I don't know why it's sitting like this. I put my dress on because it's a little bit chilly, so mind that. But I've actually not done too bad in my reading the last few months. I have read 16 books in total. It's not loads like I said, but it's a good amount. I'm happy with it. I read 5 books in January, 6 in February and then 5 in March. The last books that I read kind of put me into a bit of a slump at the end of March. Not in a bit of a slump, but like they were so good that I was just hooked. But I was in a slump before them, so I didn't read for like 2 weeks in March, so that's why. But the best book that I read, it has to be this book right here, Ace of Spades. Like, this was so good. I read this in March, I believe. Yeah, it was the last book I read in March. It was so good. YA, it's like a dark academia, which is a trope I've never read. Like, not a trope, but like a genre I've never read, dark academia. But I really like this book. I would say if you want something that is easy, not really, yeah, easy, very fast paced, like you constantly want to know what's going on next. I was reading it all through the day, just like going quickly. If you want to be in shock, read this. If you want a read that you will literally not be able to predict what happens, and if you kind of think like, oh, it's this, and if you're even slightly right, it'll be that times 527 on steroids. That is literally what this book is. Like, Farida, she ate up. She ate. Rent was due with this book. It's literally the movie The Get Out meets Gossip Girl. Like, high school, private school vibes. Or these two characters, I can't remember what they're called. They're the only 2 black characters in the black people in the school. So it's like race stuff, there's just like regular high school drama, and their secrets, like our secrets are like getting exposed in school. Like, oh, it's so good. Not even 5 stars, a million stars, infinity stars. This book was so good. Even though I like can't remember like the characters and stuff, like the actual plot and the story and how thick the plot was and how like deep it went, unmatched. Definitely recommend. But it is a YA, and for people that like different genres but like romance, there's not really any romance in this. There is slightly, but like not really. It's very like barely there, but amazing. So good. So then the best series that I read this month has to be the Selection trilogy. Oh my days, I have made these books my whole personality and I don't care. I'm not mad at it. So first of all, we have the Selection, which I gave 4.25 stars. I did really like this. The whole series was really easy. Like, I flew through these books. These are the ones that I'm talking about, like kind of put me in a slump because I just can't get over how amazing these books were. I read them all in a week. I read the last one in one sitting. I literally woke up at like 6 o'clock in the morning to binge read it. So good. But yeah, 6.25 I gave this one. The second one, which is the Elite, I really like this one as well, but it was my least favourite. I still gave it 4 stars, so it was still really good. Just didn't like it as much as the Selection. But again, really good. Like the plot twist and stuff, it's not really plot twist, but like stuff would just happen out of nowhere that it would just be so unexpected and you're like, just like, what do you mean? And then finally we have The One, which I loved this book. 4.5 stars. Like, this was so good. Like I said, read it in one sitting. I was gasping, I was in shock, I was like nearly crying, I was laughing. It was amazing. And I just realized I didn't even tell you what these are about. These books are basically, you know the TV show The Bachelor? It's The Bachelor, but make it dystopian, but kind of like Hunger Games level government dystopian, and make it royal. Yeah, you're gonna need to read these right now. But they are YA. I will say they are YA, so if that's for you, if it's not for you, I don't know. I have only read, apart from this book and one other book, they're the only, like, this is the first YA thing I've read, and these are the first dystopian books I've read. But I love them, and I will be purchasing any more. So any dystopian recs, you know what to do. So funnily enough, those were my favorite books that I've read, like, so far this year, but they were also the only physical books I read. So the rest I'm going to be putting up here, pictures when I talk about them. But my most anticipated read, if you know me, you would have already known this, was definitely Miles Ever After by Teal Swan. The epilogue book to my favorite series literally ever. Very close to the selection series, to be honest, but my favorite TV series, my favorite book series ever, The Miles High Club. So good. But yeah, the epilogue book was really good. So it was my most anticipated read over the last 3 months, and I would say it was really good. It was split into 4 epilogues for the 4 brothers for the 4 books. 2 of the epilogues I literally loved. One of them I didn't mind, I thought was good, and then one of them just didn't live up to my standards, unfortunately. Like, it just, not my standards, it just didn't live up to like my expectations, because I really liked the book, so it just wasn't really as good as I thought it could be. But then one of the other ones I didn't really expect to like, because I didn't love the book, but I did still really like the book. I loved, and I thought it was so good, so there's that. But yeah, I did really like this. I'm pretty sure I gave it 4.2 stars. 4.2? I meant 4.25, but I didn't. I actually gave it 4, because that other one, like, that one of the epilogues just didn't really eat for me, so unfortunately it brought it down a little bit. But like, I still loved it, and I definitely think when I reread it, I'll read like the book, then the epilogue, then a book, then the epilogue, rather than like all the books, then like all the epilogues. I didn't really like that whole format, but I mean, each to their own. You gotta do what you gotta do. Then the best thriller I've read over the last few months, slash the book that I would recommend to basically everyone, is Never Lie by Frida McFadden. I'm gonna put the picture up here. This was so good. I have not read a thriller or anything that's not been romance since I started reading again. Apart from The Silent Patient, this is gonna be it. And The Silent Patient was the first book I read like 3 years ago, before I got back into reading, and this did not disappoint. I didn't give it 5 stars. I'm pretty sure I gave it 4.5. Still really high. It was really good. It was literally the epilogue. The epilogue just didn't do it for me, and it brought it down that 0.5 stars, but it was really good. It was so fast paced. I flew through it. Some bits, even if I thought like I predicted it, it was always so much more. Like, it was just, it was so good. And I had the audio as well, so I was reading it alongside the audio, and if you want a good thriller, go into this blind. Go into this completely blind. If you want a good thriller, a little like, not really a who did it, but like kind of like what's going on vibe, trying to figure it all out. If you want to be a little Miss Detective, you know what to do. The best dark romances I read, because I know some people wouldn't really be wanting the YA, the mystery. They just want a little bit of a taboo, a dark read, a dark romance, something that's a little bit crazy. I got you. I got you. Unfortunately though, the 2 that I read over the last 3 months, I didn't love them. And I do have loads of recommendations, so if you want some, let me know, because I've got loads that I did love. But the 2 I read, which was Credence, whichever, by Penelope Douglas, and I also read There Are No Saints by Sophie Lark. I'm gonna put them both up there. I didn't love either of those. So first of all, for this book right here, Credence, whatever it is, I just didn't love it. It was definitely a taboo read. It was a kind of like a why choose. It was kind of crazy. It was a roller coaster. You had to be strapped up in to be ready to read this book. So I buddy read this with Iona, and both of us, we really had the same opinions. Like, the one I was reading, I was kind of like, what? Like, what do you mean? It was just a crazy read, and I know some people absolutely loved it. I think I gave it 2.5, which is not very high at all. I didn't hate it. Like, I read it, I finished it. I DNF books all the time. I read it, I finished it, I completed it, so it couldn't have been that bad. It was just like, I just didn't really love the writing style, but I've read other Penelope Douglas books and loved them, so it's not even that. I don't know, this one just wasn't really for me personally. But if you want a taboo dark romance crazy book, like the plot isn't really there because like nothing in the plot really made any sense, then be my guest. You might love it. I know loads of people that love it. Personally for me, I didn't love it, but it might be for you. And now we've got There Are No Sinners. Again, I didn't love it. I liked it more, but I didn't love it. And the only reason that I didn't love it is because it's labeled a romance. And I know, don't come for me, I know dark romance, but dark romance to me is like maybe the person's like morally grey and different stuff like that. Like this person, Cole, I'm talking to you, Cole. It didn't make any sense, and I'm not even giving you a blurb or anything about these books, because if you want to know, then you can already find out on your own. You can just tell if you want to read it based on what I'm giving you, okay? But There Are No Sinners, it was a serial killer kind of dark romance, and I have read the Mind F series. I'm gonna put a picture up here quickly just so you know what I'm talking about. And I loved this series. If you have watched my favorite reads of 2022, you will know that that is in there. I love that series. So good. I wish I could read it again for the first time. So why were people telling me, oh, if you love this series, try this series? And then I listened. Stupid me. I will never learn. I decided to listen to them, read this book. After about 2 chapters, I was already like, I will never like this man. We get a bit more into it, and then I'm like, I don't like him. Okay, maybe I can. And then he will do something, and I'm just like, ew. Like, why would I like you? No. And then there's the girl, and she's just like, and you're just like, are you dumb, stupid, or dumb? Probably dumb, stupid, and dumb. But like, but I gotta give it to Sophie Lark. The book was fast paced. I was enjoying it. The plot was giving. Like, that was the thing between that and the last book I just spoke about. The plot was there for this. I was eating up the plot. It was a good plot. The storyline, I liked it. I liked all the characters. Like, I liked the side characters, everything that was going on. It was really fast paced. Like, I was flying through this. It was the first book I read this year. I was really expecting to give it 5 stars. If it wasn't for the general fact that I just hated Cole and like the way he spoke and the things he did, I would have done better. And I hated him so much to the point that I didn't even continue on with the next book, and there's literally 2 books. There's 2 books, and I stopped reading it because of Cole. Cole Blackwell, I believe his name was. No, but I do recommend it. I recommend the book, and the amount of people I know that love it and love Cole, I mean, go off. If you want to read it, read it. I do recommend it. I will be trying more Sophie Lark books in the future, but I just don't think Cole ruined it for me, unfortunately. And I am not usually that girl. Usually I love a morally grey. I love a very dark morally grey guy, but in a book. But not this one. Not Cole. No. And then for the best novella, so I actually reread Making Her Mind by Rosie Rain. I'll put a picture up. Oh, I'm pretty sure the guy has no top on the picture, so we'll see how that works. But Making Her Mind by Rosie Rain, it is a Valentine's novella, so I read that on Valentine's. I actually read it on Valentine's last year, and I really liked it, so I thought, it's quick, it's easy, it's fun, it's enjoyable, we'll read it again. And I did, and I rated it 4.5 stars. I gave it 5 stars last year. After obviously I've read more and I've realised like it's not the best thing I've ever read, but it still is really good, so I like that. Then I also read the Kingstown like novella trilogy by Sean, which has, let me just confirm the names. Yes, that contains His Majesty, Midnight, and Yours. Do you know what? It's like, they're all black novellas. They're like cute. I did like them. They were all easy enough, fast-paced, quick reads, but I just didn't love them. Whereas Rosie Rain, I love her novellas. I love them. I've read loads. I've read all of the Silver Fox ones, and I've read a few of the other ones, and I really like them. These ones I really liked, but the first one was Second Chance. I just didn't really like it. The second one was my favourite one, and the third one was just like Friends to Lovers, and I was just like, you know what I mean? It was just, they were good, and I know people that love them, but for me personally, I didn't love them the way that I expected to love them, which is a shame. But I did enjoy them, and I did finish the whole thing, so I must have loved them enough, like liked them enough. Again, like I said, I liked them, I just didn't love them. I think I ranged them between like 3.75 and like 4 stars, which is not bad, especially on a novella scale. So there's those. If you want a quick easy read, there's those. So for the non-fiction ones, I'm surprised how many different genres I've read over the last few months. But I have read 2 non-fiction books, both of which I actually listened to, so they were audiobooks, and they were both by John Kim. I read The Angry Therapist and Single on Purpose. I didn't rate them because I decided I don't really want to rate books that are not just like made up fake stories. So I didn't rate them, but I did really enjoy both of them. I don't really think I had a preference. They were both like nice to listen to, like they were good, easy to follow along. Although once I finished them, like it's been a few weeks since I read them now. Do I think about them? No. Do I remember anything I was told? Who knows? Maybe, maybe not. Maybe subconsciously, I don't know. But I did enjoy them and I would recommend them. So there's that. Take what you will. Take what you will. And then just finally, another little mention that I thought I would add in. I did read Signed by Marnie Mann. I'll put it up here for you. Right at the beginning of the year. I'm pretty sure it was the second book I read. I didn't love it. I only gave it 3.5. I read it straight after There Are No Sinners, so it was a bit like, There Are No Sinners or There Are No Saints? There Are No Saints. Did I say that before? But yeah, I read it after There Are No Saints, and again I give it 3.5 as well. But I'm only mentioning it because I gave it 3.5 just because I thought there was so much more potential, like it could have been better, and I didn't love the 2 main characters. But I really liked all of the side characters. I love the side character stories. Like 2 of my favorite side characters have their own books. I think I'll go back and read it. I liked the plot enough. I liked the fact that it got right into the story. Like literally on like the second page we were knees deep in plot. So I liked that. It was really fast paced. It was super easy to follow. It was a short, I'm pretty sure it was just under 300 pages, so it was short, and it was just overall really easy. And Marnie Mann has loads of other different series and different books, so I think I will go back and read some more, but I thought I would just give that an honorable mention. But if you want to see all the books that I read this month, make sure to follow me on Goodreads and my Bookstagram. I will put them both across here, and you can follow me there if you want to be seeing what I'm actually reading as I'm reading them, and like a full wrap up. And if you do want a full wrap up for when I do the next one of these, let me know. But that is all of my little honorable mentions over the last 3 months, and hopefully my next video I would have read more. We'll see. Can I be 16? I think so. I think I'm still like 3 ahead of my target for the year, 3 ahead of schedule, but let's see. Hopefully I can read more. I need to actually pick up another book because I did DNF about 6 books this month, so that's lovely. And I was in a slump for like 3 weeks, at which point I actually read 2 books which I loved, but then DNF'd them. Just not even because they were bad, because they were so good and I knew I wouldn't appreciate them right now. So hopefully they'll be coming back. But yeah, let me know what other book videos you want to see. Like I said, follow me on all my book socials, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!
See ya!